Don't know where to begin with the speak about the photo questions in the Duolingo English test? Well, just follow me. In this video, I'll give you a perfect 160 level answer, and I'll show you sentence by sentence how to read it so that you can get the best score possible. All right, let's get started. Hello, I'm Francis from Last Minute English. This is one of our Speak With Me videos where I give you a very high-level answer and I show you sentence by sentence how to read it so that you can improve your pronunciation, your intonation, and of course your vocabulary and your grammar as well. So in this video, we'll do a very quick review of what Speak About the Photo is. I'll show you a strategy to help organize your answer and make it as good as possible. We'll build our answer together, and then at the end, I'll give you that sentence by sentence performance, and you can follow me to improve your own performance. So, what is Speak About the Photo? So, of course, you get a photo, you have to look at it, think about it for 20 seconds, and then speak for up to 90 seconds. Some people only try to speak for 30 or 40 seconds. That's not great if you want to get the higher scores. It needs to be a longer answer. Try to fill your answer. And actually, later in the video, I'll give you a great phrase that you can use if you need to say something else to keep your answer going. We'll talk about that later. There is one Speak About the Photo in the DET, and it counts towards your conversation and production subscores. So if you want to get the best score possible in Speak About the Photo, there are 5 things that you have to do. Let's look at them. The first one is to structure your response. So make it a good, well-organized answer. And in a second, I'll show you the organization that I like to use. The second point is to stay on topic. Keep talking about the photo. Don't get distracted. Then 3 is use specific vocabulary and some advanced vocabulary as well. And of course, later, I'll show you lots of great vocabulary that you can use. The 4th point is to speculate when you're not sure. Speculate means you kind of guess about something where you think maybe it's this or maybe it's that, and you give your best guess. And then point 5 is to extend your responses. So keep your answer going as long as you can. Try to fill that 90 seconds. By the way, if you're preparing for the DET and you want to make sure that you get 120 or higher, we've got a great course for you. It's our complete preparation course for the Duolingo English test. It's got all kinds of resources. Hundreds of students have gone through it. They all say it's like really, really useful for helping them get to those higher scores. So if you want to check that out, the link is just here under the video. So let's talk about the structure. That's the first of those points. There are 5 questions that you can ask yourself in the 20 seconds of preparation time. And if you can make a little plan for those 5, you'll have plenty to talk about when your speaking time begins. So let's look at those questions. The first one, what does the image show? So what is in the photo? And then number 2, who are the people in the photo? We can think, where was the photo taken, the location, and when is the action happening? And that could be the time of day or the time of year, or maybe some kind of special occasion like a birthday. And finally, why are the people in that situation? Why are they doing whatever it is that they're doing? So we're going to follow that structure about this photo, okay? So we've got 2 girls there, and the first thing we're going to do is focus on the what, like what is in the photo, and the who, because really, like, the main thing is that it's about these 2 girls. So what and who, in this case, come together. So we could say something like, this image shows 2 girls relaxing, and that's okay. But we want to use some more specific high-level vocabulary, so we can change shows for captures. This image captures 2 girls relaxing. So that's one example of high-level vocabulary. Here's another one for you. This is a little question. Look again at the photo. Look at the thing that they're lying in. What's that called in English? I'll give you a clue. It begins with H. It is a hammock. So we could say, the image captures 2 girls relaxing in a hammock. And just those little details if you know that word, that can give your score a very nice boost. Now we can also use speculation here. We can have a guess about what their relationship could be. So we could say, they could be sisters. And that's okay, but we can also add a reason. We could say, they could be sisters because they look to be a similar age and seem very comfortable in each other's company. Now I want you to listen again as I read that sentence, and I want you to think about my intonation. Intonation, the way that my voice goes up and down, okay? And also think about the pauses that I leave. So have a listen now. So, this image captures two girls relaxing in a hammock. They could be sisters because they look to be a similar age and seem very comfortable in each other's company. Now what you might have noticed is that there are some short pauses there. So after the full stop, after the period, I leave a slightly longer pause. It's not a very long pause, just a slight pause. And then an even shorter pause after a comma or after the word and. Okay, so those are the little details that we start to notice when we start to make our English sound more natural. And later at the end of the video, when we go through the model answer together, you'll be able to focus on a lot more of those details. Next, let's focus on where this is happening. So here's what I've written. I'm going to read through it for you. So the picture was clearly taken outdoors, as I can see the sunlight shining down onto them, and there's a body of water in the background. There's also plenty of greenery, which indicates that they're in a peaceful and attractive area, such as a natural park. Now, as I was reading that, you might have noticed that some of the words, I put emphasis on them, and other ones, I went very quickly through them. So, for example, greenery, I put emphasis on that because that's an important word and a specific piece of vocabulary for this answer. And then words like they're in a, I said very quickly, they're in a. And again, later in the video, when we go through the full answer, you'll be able to see which of the words are emphasized, are important, and which ones we say very quickly. And that's a really important difference between someone who's pretty good at English and someone who's a native English speaker. So that's an important thing that we're going to focus on a little bit later. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to like and subscribe because we're always releasing new DET videos. And by the way, if you're enjoying this new series, the Speak With Me series, please let me know because I'm not sure. It's a new thing that we're trying, so I'd love to know if you find this useful. If you do, you can just write yes or useful or good or something in the comments, okay? And if you think it's not very useful, please don't be shy. You can write not useful or terrible, bad teacher. But either way, good feedback, bad feedback, let me know down here. Now let's focus on when. So when is this photo happening? When was it taken? And as I said before, we can think about the time of day, the time of year, or we can think, is it a special occasion? For this photo, I don't think it is a special occasion, so we'll just talk about the time of day and the year. So let's take a look at the answer. I'm inclined to say that the photo was taken in spring or autumn. Although the weather appears pleasantly warm, the girls aren't dressed for a hot winter climate. I mean summer climate. From the light in the sky, it's probably early evening. It would definitely make sense for the girls to be having some downtime at that time of the day. Now, what did you notice about my answer this time? You might have noticed that I made a little mistake. So I said the hot winter climate, and then I thought, oh, no, that's wrong. And I changed it. I said, oh, sorry, I mean hot summer climate. And that is absolutely fine because we all make mistakes. I make so many mistakes when I'm speaking English. But if you notice them and you have the confidence to correct yourself, then those mistakes won't affect your score at all. Okay? So saying something like, oh, sorry, I mean, and then you say the correct one is a great trick to avoid those mistakes actually damaging your score. And a couple of other nice parts there. So we had a great phrase for giving an opinion, which is, I'm inclined to say that, which just means I think, but in higher vocabulary. And we had a nice longer sentence using although. So, although something something, comma, something something, which is not a very detailed sentence, but using although and making those longer sentences will really help our grammar score. Finally, let's think about the why. So, why was this photo taken, or why are they doing what they're doing? Let's take a look. The picture may well have been taken during a family holiday. It puts me in mind of holidays with my own family during my childhood, when my sister and I would sit relaxing and enjoying the silence like these children are doing. So that's a nice phrase, and it uses it puts me in mind, which is another very natural expression. Yes, each of those words is a short word, but put together, they're a really nice phrase, a quite advanced phrase, which means it made me think of something. Then the last step is if we haven't filled our time. So you're speaking and you notice, okay, we don't have any more ideas. I'm coming to the end. There's only 60 seconds. I need to keep speaking. I've got a great phrase for you that you can add. So we could say something like this. Another thing that I've just noticed, and then you say whatever that extra detail is. It could be a tiny little detail, but you just go, oh, and one more thing. Another thing I've just noticed is, and let's continue ours, is that neither girl is looking at a device, which suggests I'm right about this trip being an opportunity for them to disconnect from daily life. So that's a great way to extend your answer. I probably added maybe another 10, 12 seconds there. And that's going to help me push towards the full 90 seconds. So we've put together our full answer, and now we're going to read it together. So you'll be able to see on the screen that some of the words are going to be emphasized, okay? And other words are going to be sort of a little bit squashed together. We're going to say them quite quickly. I'm going to go through and read sentence by sentence, and after each sentence, I'll leave a short pause, and in that time, I want you to, if you want, and I think you should, pause the video and try to say it yourself, okay? So try to copy not just what I say, but how I say it as well. Think about my intonation. Think about, have I used any pauses? We've given you some help on the screen because you know which words to emphasize and which words should be like blah, 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 said quite quickly. And I suggest doing this several times as well. So if you want to save this video and come back to it, this is a great way to, over time, improve your fluency. And why is it fluency? Because you get to know these phrases, you use them again and again, and then when you get to either your test or just speaking English in daily life, these phrases will naturally just come out if you've practiced them enough. If you do it once, then probably they won't work. Okay, they won't come out. You need to keep practicing. That's why I suggest saving, particularly this part of the video. Try to come back and do it a few times. Anyway, that's enough of me talking about that. Let's get on to the answer itself. So let's begin. This image captures two girls relaxing in a hammock. And remember, now it's your turn. Pause the video, say it yourself. Okay. They could be sisters because they look to be a similar age and seem very comfortable in each other's company. The picture was clearly taken outdoors, as I can see the sunlight shining down onto them, and there's a body of water in the background. Very good. There's also plenty of greenery, which indicates that they're in a peaceful and attractive area, such as a natural park. I'm inclined to say that the photo was taken in spring or autumn. Although the weather appears pleasantly warm, the girls aren't dressed for a hot summer climate. From the light in the sky, it's probably early evening. It would definitely make sense for the girls to be having some downtime at that time of day. The picture may well have been taken during a family holiday. It puts me in mind of my own family during my childhood, when my sister and I would sit relaxing and enjoying the silence like these children are doing. Another thing I've just noticed is that neither girl is looking at a device, which suggests I'm right about this trip being an opportunity for them to disconnect from daily life. Okay, very good. So, that is the full answer, and as I said, if you want to come back and keep practicing, it's a good idea. The more you practice, the more natural this will become. Just one thing to remember though, some people ask me, should I memorize this answer? And of course the answer to that is no. Why? Well, there's actually two reasons. First of all, this photo is not going to come in your real DET. The chances of this photo coming are 0.0000001%. So it wouldn't make sense to learn this answer. But also, more importantly, if the test, and this is true for DET, but also for IELTS and TOEFL and PTE, if the test or the examiner think that you're giving a memorized answer and not a true answer that you're saying naturally, then they're going to give you a much lower score. So it's never a good idea to memorize the full answer. Instead, you can memorize some particular sentences or some phrases, and that way you can use them whatever photo comes out. So there we go, that is our 160 level Speak About the Photo answer. I hope this was useful. If so, please make sure that you like and subscribe. And remember, if you want to make sure you score at least 120 or higher the first time that you take the DET, our preparation course is exactly right for you. Find more information here under the video. That's going to be all for today, but if you're the kind of person who, when you're answering about Speak About the Photo or the speaking sample or another one of these speaking questions, you struggle with ideas, your mind goes blank, you don't have any new ideas to talk about, we've got a great video that can help you make sure that you've always got something to say. All right, so you can find that just up here or in the video description below. I'm Francis from Last Minute English. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.